Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. Today I'm talking about 10 albums that I was really kind of surprised to see what they were selling for on Discogs. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check them out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music weekly playlists that we put together, and also the Patreon page. Make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So yesterday I did a whole video about my 10 most expensive albums according to Discogs. You can go back and check that video out if you haven't watched it yet. But when I was going over that list, I started noticing that there's a couple albums I was really surprised for how much they were selling for. And then a couple other ones that I was really kind of shocked they were selling for so cheap. So I'll start with the first five will be all albums that are selling for a lot more than I thought they would be or should be going for on Discogs. And then I'll finish out the video with five they're going for super cheap that probably should be selling for more than what they're going for. But anyway, the very first one, it's a good album, but the median sale price on this one is $100. It was released back in 2019. I didn't really see a whole lot of people even buying this album when it first came out. The album is Head Above Water by Avril Lavigne. It's a good album. I wouldn't put it up near the top of her discography. I know a lot of Avril's albums tend to sell for a lot of money, but this one, this is one that I could probably do really without having on vinyl. This is a good one. You can just stream this if you want to listen to it, but selling for $100, that's why and this is the median sale price. That's not even the high end that's going for online. But like I said, it is a good album for $100. The next one's an incredible album. One of my favorite punk albums of the 90s. This is a 2013 pressing, also selling for $100 online. Like I said, this is the median sale price, not the top end, but the median sale price is $100. It's a great album. This is Destruction by Definition by the Suicide Machines. I think it's definitely in the top 2 or 3 punk albums of the 90s. Just an incredible album, beginning to end, not a skippable track. I was really kind of surprised that there's enough kind of push out there, or this album is popular enough to sell for $100 on Discogs, though. The next one is an album that, to be completely honest, I didn't think was all that good of an album. It was probably one of my most disappointing albums of the last several years. This came out back in 2020. Median sale price on Discogs is $81. The album is Never Look Back by Goldfinger. I really like what Goldfinger did with The Knife, which came out, I think it's 2017 when The Knife came out. Great album. I think one of the top 5 or top 10 punk albums of the 2000s. And then they released this album. And like I said, I was really disappointed. There wasn't a whole lot that really made me even want to go back and listen to this album multiple times. It's not bad, I guess I should say. It's just there's nothing that really kind of hooked me like there was with The Knife. But like I said, this thing's going for $81 on Discogs, which is kind of surprising. An album that really kind of falls into that great category, but I'm really kind of surprised people are paying this much money for this album because he gets so much hate out there. A lot of people will love to hate on this next artist, and he kind of shoots himself in the foot a lot of times and does some stupid things, but this is a great album, and this is definitely one that I love having this one. I picked this one up used a few years ago for super cheap. But this median sale price on this one is $79.15. This is a 2016 pressing of Devil Without a Cause by Kid Rock. Like I said, a lot of people love to hate on Kid Rock. This is a great album, though. This is a fantastic album. Of course, this is the album they really kind of blew up with. But being here, I'm in the southeastern Michigan area, so I kind of grew up with Kid Rock. He did grit sandwiches for breakfast in the late 80s, I think it was like early 90s when that one came out. He did like Polyfuse Method, lots of other things that he did, like more rap based earlier in his career. And then he came out with Devil Without a Cause. And like I said, this album really kind of changed musically what he was doing. It was a big difference from his earlier stuff. It's a great album from beginning to end, though. And then the last one, as far as albums that are selling for a lot more than I thought they would on Discogs, this is a great album, but since it's 2023, I'm really surprised this artist is selling albums at this kind of price. But median sale price on this one, this is going for $60 on Discogs. It's Frank Sinatra. It's Sinatra at the Sands. Like I said, it is a great album. This is one of those albums where you put it on and it like takes you back to the 60s. It's like you're sitting in the sands listening to Frank up on stage. It's a great album. But like I said, 2023, man, I'm surprised a Frank Sinatra album, especially one that was just released in 2016. Median sale price on this is $60. I was really kind of surprised. And then the last 5 on the list are all great albums. Really surprised that they're selling for as little as they are on Discogs. Some of these were in my top 3 albums the year that they came out. The first one, median sale price on Discogs, is $6. I feel like that's an absolute steal for this album. It was one of my top albums of last year. It is the self-titled album from Youngblood. Maybe it's because this is the Target exclusive version that's selling for so cheap, and maybe it's because this isn't the best cover art for this album. I like what he did with the there's a UK exclusive, really kind of cool looking cover, and then the standard version I think really looks cool too. But so maybe it's just because of the album artwork that's selling for so cheap. But for $6, man, I think that's an absolute steal for this album. The next one might just be because it's a 12-inch single. Those tend to not cost a whole lot of money on Discogs, on the resale market. New, you can typically pick them up for, $20-25. Used, they're still in that $15 to $20 range, I feel like a lot of them are. But the median sale price on this one, $8.96. It's a great single. It's got some great tracks on it. Now, granted, it is one of my favorite bands of all time, but it does have some great tracks. It is the 12-inch single of Die, Die, My Darling by the Misfits. And the B-side on this is We Bite and Mommy Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight. All 3 of them are absolutely fantastic tracks. But like I said, for $9, man, that's a great steal. I think the next album was really kind of a victim of when it was released. It came out back in 2018. Punk rock wasn't as popular in 2018 as it is now. So maybe if they would have released this album now, they would have done a little bit better with it. It would have been a little more regarded. But I think it's really an album that's almost kind of returned to form for this band. I think it's more reminiscent of some of their earlier stuff in their career, which made them as popular as they were. There for a while, they were one of the most popular bands in the world. But came out in 2018. Median sale price on Discogs for this album is $11. It's another one of those albums, like I said, if you can pick it up for $11, man, I think it's a steal. But the album is Generation RX by Good Charlotte. I'm a big punk fan. I have been for a long time. The first couple of Good Charlotte albums are absolutely fantastic. I actually saw Good Charlotte open up for MXPX back in, I think it was 2000, 2001, right before they blew up. It was literally 2 weeks before they hit it, huge with their debut album. But when I saw them take the stage, they really blew me away that night. I knew they were going to be a huge band, but they really kind of tailed off. Later in their career, the last I'd say from 2010 to when this album came out, I think they really kind of died off. Hadn't really done anything that was really outstanding, but this album is great. Like I said, if you can pick this up for $11, man, that's a great deal. I really think this next album kind of falls under the same category as that Youngblood release, where it's a variant of the standard release, so maybe this variant isn't all that popular. This is a great album, though. It's going for a really good price on Discogs. Released back in 2021. Its median sale price is $12.49. I will say that I think this is kind of a return to form for this band. Their last couple of albums I felt were really subpar. I didn't have high expectations for this album, but it's a really good album. I think it's one of the better ones, definitely in the top half of their career. The album is Medicine at Midnight by the Foo Fighters. This is the Target exclusive, which has alternate artwork than the standard release, so maybe that's what it is. I actually like this artwork a little bit better, but like I said, ever since Wasting Light came out, what was that, 2010, I think, when Wasting Light came out? They really kind of tailed off. There's nothing been really anything in their career that's really stood out to me on the last couple of albums. But this is really kind of a return to form. I would definitely put this up probably in the top half of their albums. And then the last album on the list, I was actually kind of surprised by, because when it came out last year, I actually had a hard time finding this version of this album. And maybe this is the same thing like that Foo Fighters album and the Youngblood album, where it's just a variant of the standard release. But it is really kind of cool. I love the artwork on this one also. But the album is If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power by Halsey. The standard album came out the year earlier. It was one of my favorite albums of 2021. So when this is the tour version, came out last year, there's nothing really special about this one. I know a lot of times with a tour edition of an album, they'll add some additional tracks or things like that to it. But with this, it's just an alternate artwork, and it's on this translucent green vinyl. Really kind of an interesting release. I love this album, though. It's a fantastic album from beginning to end. Definitely the best thing I think Halsey's ever done in her career. I'm pretty sure in 2021 I had it in my top 3, I think, albums for the year. But this thing's going for $12.95, median sale price on Discogs. So like I said, with these 5 albums, I think all 5 of them are great deals. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Like I said, 5 albums I was really surprised that they were selling for so much, and then 5 that I really were surprised they were selling for so cheap on Discogs. But drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure you guys have albums in your collection the same way, where you go on Discogs and you're like, wow, how is this thing selling for $4 or $5 when, you know, it's a fantastic album or a fantastic pressing or really cool artwork or something like that. But let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.